February 2020, I was 19 years old in community college in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I was failing out, absolutely hated school with all my heart, and I made a $199 investment that 5 years later has turned into me earning multiple seven figures. And in this video, I'm gonna show you how anybody can do it the same way I did. You can take $199 and turn it into multiple millions of dollars. I'm not gonna sell you a course. I don't have a coaching program for you guys to pay and buy off me. But the one thing that I ask is, if you like this content, please like the video, subscribe to my page, and drop a comment, because there's much more to come. I hope that you guys can listen to my story and see how it can help you create a game plan for yourselves, where if you're in the same position as me 5 years ago, where you're lost, hopeless, but you have big goals for your life, hopefully you can listen to my story, find things that you can implement into your life, and create a game plan to get yourself out of the rut that you're in, to live a life that you never thought possible for yourself. So if we back up all the way to 2018, I was in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I was graduating high school in the year of 2018. I was 18 years old. I had a cousin that was selling life insurance for this company that I currently work for now, and he had just gotten into the company. He was heavily recruiting me in 2018, basically demanding that I come in, learn about the company, and take an interview. I had no plans for my life. I was 18 years old, just graduated high school. So I was like, whatever, I got nothing else to do, I'll go take an interview. So I went into the office, and when I got to the office, there was people wearing crazy watches, like you see me wearing this $200,000 Richard Mille. There was fancy cars parked outside. Everyone was dressed to the nines. And I'm like, what the heck is this place? It seems like the Wolf of Wall Street. And I went in for a company overview, where one of the guys there explained the life insurance sales opportunity to me when I was 18. They were talking about, we've got people making $20,000 a week, people driving Ferraris, Bentleys. All these people are in their 20s making this crazy money. And my mind was blown, because I'm from a small town in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where nobody makes six figures. So I was loving it, gobbling it up. I was ready to take the job right away. And I went through an interview with one of the hiring directors at that time. And he said, I'll let you know tomorrow if we select you for the position or not. Keep in mind, I showed up to this job interview in shorts and a cutoff. Everyone else was wearing suits. So I'm like, there's no way I'm gonna get this six-figure job. This is crazy. I wish I could, but I can't. I go home. The next day I get a call, they're like, hey, you're hired. I'm like, what the heck? So I tell my parents, I'm like, I just got hired into this sales company. I was there at the office yesterday. There was Bentleys, Ferraris. They were making 20 grand a week. These people had Rolexes, Richard Milles. I'm fired up, 18 years old, telling my parents I'm gonna go work for this sales company. And they said, whoa, whoa, whoa. The exact quote was, if it looks too good to be true, Spencer, it probably is. So that was the first thing they put in my mind to fill me with fear. Your parents' job is to protect you. They always want you to be safe and take a comfortable route. So I'm not mad at my parents for talking me out of it at the time. I understand that parents just want you to be comfortable and safe, so they're always gonna tell you what they think's the best for you. But my parents aren't financially rich. So looking back, I realized that I shouldn't be taking financial advice from somebody that I wouldn't trade places with. I took their advice for the time being. They told me that's too good to be true. If everyone could earn six figures, everyone would work there, Spencer. It's probably a pyramid scheme. It might be the mafia, whatever it is, you're not doing that. You have to go to college. So that was when I was 18. So I told my cousin, hey bro, I think you're scamming people. I'm not doing this, I'm going to college. So I got into community college when I was 18 years old. My goal was, I'm gonna go to community college for 2 years. I'm gonna lock in and finally get good grades. And then once I do, I'll take my 2 years of community college experience, apply to the University of Pittsburgh where all my friends went, and then hopefully get a good degree out of the University of Pittsburgh and go get some corporate job where I can maybe make six figures a year by the time I'm 40. So I went to community college. I was locked in for the first semester, most locked in I've ever been. My high school GPA was a 1.8, so I'd never gotten good grades before. But for my first semester in community college, I got decent grades, like C's and B's, which was a big accomplishment for me. At that time, I was working at GNC selling supplements. So my life for a year, from 2018 to 2019, every day was the same. Wake up, hit the gym, go to community college and try to get good grades so I can get into a real college, and then spend the rest of my night working at GNC selling supplements to make like $300 every 2 weeks, nothing crazy. And in that time, my cousin Mark was still working for this sales company. He would see me at the gym every single day, and he would come into GNC every single day just to basically recruit me every single day. Every time he saw me at the gym, he's like, "You still going to community college, wasting your time? Like, you don't even know why you're going there. You're just going because your parents told you to. You should come work with me." And I'm like, "Nah, he's scamming people. I'm gonna put that off." Then he'd come into GNC and he would buy like $100 worth of supplements every single week. I'm like, dang, this dude's got bread. And when he would come in, he'd say, "Are you really working at GNC right now? Like, you can make so much money if you got into sales. Why are you working at GNC?" But I pushed it off for a whole year because I had all my broke friends and all my broke family members tell me, "It's too good to be true. Don't do that. Make sure you get your college degree, blah, blah, blah." Then fast forward to 2020, after a year and a half of going through the motions, doing the same thing every day, gym, college, GNC, that's when COVID hit. So COVID hit, and now school went virtual. I already hated school with a passion. It was like pulling teeth to get me to drive to community college and actually sit there and pay attention. But now it's virtual. So I'm like, okay, this is even more stupid, because if I'm not at college, I'm definitely not gonna pay attention. So whenever that started to happen, it was like January 2020, I stopped going to my classes. I would just go to the gym for like 4 hours a day, and then I'd spend the rest of my day working at GNC. My grades absolutely tanked. I started failing every class. I was dropping classes left and right, and I felt super hopeless because I thought my only chance at financial success was if I got a college degree, and then maybe one day I'd make six figures if I got lucky. So when I started failing out at age 19, I started to be full of a bunch of fear and worry about what my future was gonna hold. And I basically mentally, internally kissed my chances of financial success goodbye, because I'm like, well, looks like this is the end for me. College isn't gonna work, I'm screwed. So then I'm like, what could I do with my life where I'm not an average Joe? Because I always had that inner fire burning within me of whatever I do, I will not be an average Joe. So then I was like, maybe I could try to be a Navy SEAL. So I started in January of 2020 learning about Navy SEALs, watching David Goggins videos, getting my mindset right, learning about what they do to physically train. I was running a ton, working out a ton, swimming in the cold lakes at midnight just to get my mind right and do things that were hard because I never wanted to be average. And for 2 months, I was in between, do I send it and drop out of college to go be a Navy SEAL? Or do I go work with my cousin Mark? Because he's been pestering me for 2 years straight about getting into sales. I've been watching him every single week make thousands of dollars. I always felt like it was a scam, but he's so consistent with his income. I'm like, maybe it is legit. He's making so much money every single week, it couldn't be a scam. So I decided I'm just gonna pray about it, and whenever I hear the Holy Spirit tell me what to do, I'm just gonna trust that. So I prayed about it for 2 months, never heard anything, was super confused, concerned, didn't know what to do. And then one day I was working out in my basement and I heard the Holy Spirit clear as day tell me, you should go to Florida, you should sell life insurance with your cousin Mark. You don't need a college degree. You'll be successful. And when you do become successful, you can tell people this story of how you heard the Holy Spirit tell you what to do. And because you trusted it, even though it was scary, it changed your life. And now you can tell people that when you listen to the Holy Spirit, it's gonna change your life. That's the conversation that was whispered into my ear when I was 19 in my basement just working out. And then the Holy Spirit said, go up to your room and read that little Jesus Calling book that sits on your desk. I had a Jesus Calling book I got in my stocking when I was 19 for Christmas of 2019. And I never read it, ever. It just sat in my room. But the Holy Spirit whispered in my ear, go read the Jesus Calling book and read the page that you're supposed to read today, because it's a once a day reading. Every day is numbered and it tells you what to read. So after I heard that, I literally heard the Holy Spirit say, move to Florida, because my cousin Mark was about to move to Florida to start an office down there for life insurance, drop out of school, use it as a testimony, and go read your Jesus Calling book. So the first thing I thought was, what the heck is happening? Like, I've never really heard this before. This is kind of creepy. And then I'm like, I can't move to Florida. I don't know anybody in Florida. I don't have money. I don't even know if this career is real. I think Mark's scamming, like that's scary. So I went up to my room. I'm like, I'm just gonna read this book. It kind of felt like I was being controlled like a video game, but I went to my room, grabbed the book. I'm like, let's see what happens. Opened it up to whatever day it was, I forget. And basically what the Bible or what the book said was, wherever you go, Jesus is with you. You have nothing to worry about. If you trust in God and keep him first in everything that you do, he'll set your path straight, so you've got nothing to worry about. And I'm like, wow, I feel like God's talking to me through the Holy Spirit and through this reading. Like, I have no worries. If I move to Florida, what I feel like God's telling me to do is just keep God first every day. He's with you always, so you're never alone. My fear was moving somewhere alone, but the reading told me you're never alone. If you keep God first, He'll always be with you and He'll direct your steps. So I had this overwhelming feeling of confidence that no matter what anybody told me about, you shouldn't move to Florida, you shouldn't get into sales, you need a college degree, I felt the Holy Spirit telling me the opposite of take a risk, bet on yourself, because it's really not yourself. God is always with you. Keep Him first and you'll be fine. You've got nothing to worry about. Just trust in God and go with your gut, because that's what the Holy Spirit's telling me to do. So immediately I told my parents, hey, I'm dropping out, moving to Florida with Mark here in 2 weeks, and I'm gonna start selling life insurance. And of course, they said, that's the worst thing you could do. Don't do that. You need a college degree. All my friends said that's a terrible idea. They were saying, you don't know anybody in Florida. You don't have sales experience. You don't know anything about life insurance. You don't even know if that opportunity is real. It could be a scam. So I've got all these external factors telling me not to do it, but I had the Holy Spirit in my heart telling me, if you do it and keep God first, I'm gonna bless you abundantly, and you're gonna be able to tell people that back when you were scared, what you did is you went to God and God spoke to you through the Holy Spirit, and that's why you're gonna live in abundance. And then when you're living in abundance and people ask you for advice, you could tell them it's not the job, it's not you, it was you listening to the Holy Spirit, and God sets you free when you listen to Him. So I went for it anyway, moved to Florida. I was 19, just turning 20 years old. And here's where the $199 investment comes into play. I had $800 to my name when I decided to move to Florida. And to sell life insurance, you have to buy an insurance license. That process is you have to pay $199 for a pre-licensing course, which helps you study for the exam. Once you buy that, you have to go to a testing center and take the exam, pass it, and then you're licensed to sell. So I'm like, oh, I only have $800. I'm moving to Florida. I don't even really want to spend $200. That's 1/4 of my entire net worth right now. But I need my insurance license to sell life insurance, so I guess I'm gonna do it. So I paid for the license, studied for about a week, got my insurance license, moved to Florida. Now I'm in Florida, and the whole time we're heading there, I drove down in a U-Haul van with my cousin Mark. I kept asking him, I'm like, look, I'm bought in to whatever you're doing, because I see you're making a ton of money, and I wanna make a ton of money. I'm bought in. You don't have to worry about me quitting, but I'm just wondering, what are we actually gonna do in Florida? There's no way you're making this much money selling life insurance. So I was like, just tell me, are we selling drugs? Is this the cartel? Like, what the heck are you doing to make all this money? And I'm down to do it, but I just wanna know the truth. He's like, dude, we sell life insurance. I'm telling you, that's all we do. We just sell life insurance, and you can build a team and you can make money off your team too. So we get to Florida. I still think he's lying to me. And then he gives me a script. He's like, all right, Spencer, here's the script. And what I want you to do is practice this script over and over and over and over out loud until it's so annoying that I tell you to shut up. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do that. So I just read the script out loud in the shower, in the car, while we're eating breakfast, while we're on our way to the gym, over and over and over until I had this script memorized. And finally, my cousin was like, shut up, quit reading that script out loud. So that's when I knew I had the script down. Then he was like, okay, here's the leads. He gave me the people's names and numbers to call. He's like, use that script, call these leads, and just get them on Zoom. So I'm freaking out. I'm like, I've never done sales. I don't even know what the heck I'm selling. I just know I'm reading this script, but here we go. So I start ripping calls. First person answers. I'm shaking. I'm just reading the script. Don't even know what I'm saying. I felt like I was blacked out. Set an appointment with the lady. And then it was time for me to get on Zoom with this person and sell him life insurance. And I'm freaking out. I'm like, Mark, can you help me out? Like, can you be on the Zoom with me? I'm terrified. He's like, no, just go for it. I'm not helping you. The best way to learn is through repetition. So the lady gets on Zoom. I don't even remember the presentation. All I know is I just said the script word for word without even really know what I was saying. And she's like, sure, I'll pick plan one. Slammed her in. My first week, I made like $1,200, which to me, that was like how much I was making a month at GNC. And I didn't even know what the heck I was doing. I was just reading a random script to these random phone numbers that they gave me. But I remember feeling like, wow, I just made $1,000 my first week as a 19 or 20-year-old, and I didn't even know what the heck I was doing. Week 2 came, I felt a little bit more confident. Kept making calls to the leads they gave me, kept using the same exact script word for word. In week 2, I made like $2,300. So mentally, I was like, holy crap. I just proved to myself 2 weeks into this sales career that $199 investment to get my insurance license has already taught me that it's possible to make 6 figures, because week 2, I made over 2 grand, which means if I can make over 2 grand in a week, all I gotta do is do that 52 weeks in a row and I can make 6 figures. My mind was absolutely blown because still at this time, I didn't know much about life insurance. I didn't know anything really. All I knew was I made 2 grand reading this script to the leads that they gave me for free. So I'm like, okay, this is sick. And my mentor told me at the time, just lock in on sales and learn how to sell life insurance at a high level. So that was my goal. I was in Tampa, Florida. I didn't know anybody in the city, not one single person except my cousin Mark. And I just locked in on selling life insurance for 3 months straight. From 8 a.m. till 9 p.m., Monday through Sunday for my first 3 months, all I did was go to the office and call these leads and read the script word for word. After 3 months, I had over $50,000 already saved in my bank account as a 20-year-old, and I was being super cheap. I was eating canned chicken and microwave rice for my first 3 months. That's how I was able to save up over 50 grand. I was making good money, and I was being smart by not spending all of it. But then I was like, holy crap, I didn't know you can make this much money selling life insurance. And I just felt like I needed to tell everybody in the world about it because 3 months prior, I had $800 to my name and I felt hopeless, like I can never be rich. Fast forward 3 months and I have 50 grand saved up. So it would be selfish of me not to tell everybody in the world that thinks they can't become successful, you need to sell life insurance. We can give you the same leads I had and the same script I had, and you can make money too. So then I was like, Mark, I'm ready to build a team because I feel like I could teach people how to do this. If we give them the same leads I got and the same script I got, if they're down to work hard like me, they can save 50 grand in 3 months too. I wish someone would have told me this earlier, and I wish you would have forced me to start working here when I was 18, because I could be a millionaire by now with this. So then it was time for me to build a team. So the first thing I do, I call my boy up who went to Penn State. I'm like, yo, you gotta drop out of Penn State right now, because this is fire. Like I showed him, I got 50 grand saved. I can show you how to do it too. He dropped out, moved down to Tampa to get into my apartment. And once he saw the money you can make, he convinced his friend to drop out of Penn State too. And then he came down to Tampa as well. So now it was me, and I recruited my boy to drop out of Penn State. He recruited his boy to drop out of Penn State. And it was just us 3 ripping life insurance sales for like 6 months. Anyway, fast forward, after 1 year, I made over 300 grand my first year. And I realized it's so simple to make money in this industry. You sell life insurance, you make a boatload of money off your personal sales. Once you learn how to sell life insurance, you recruit people, you teach those recruits how to sell life insurance. Once they make a boatload of money selling life insurance, you make money too because you recruited them and you train them. And I'm like, my vision just got so big. I'm like, I know I can sell. I know I can teach people how to sell. Now I just need to recruit as many people as possible, teach them how to sell, and then teach them too that, hey, if you want to make even more money, you just got to find your own recruits and teach them how to sell. And the more life insurance that gets sold, the more money you make. And all I know is you can sell a lot more life insurance with 1 million people on your team than you can with 1. So that's how I've been able to turn a $199 investment into millions and millions of dollars over the last 5 years. It's a very simple process. You get your license, you start off selling life insurance. You're gonna blow your own mind with how much money you can make selling life insurance. And once you realize, holy crap, it's this simple to make over 6 figures, you're gonna want to recruit everybody that you know, because you're just gonna wanna get it through their brain like, look, you don't make that much money, I can show you how to do it. It's very simple. We give you the leads, we give you the script. You're gonna wanna recruit the whole entire world. Once you get some recruits, you're gonna train them how to sell life insurance. Once they start selling life insurance, they're gonna be making more money than they ever thought possible. And when your recruits make more money than they ever thought possible, you get compensated as well because you recruited them, you trained them, and it's just a nonstop money flow for everybody. It's an amazing company. The company's been around for over 75 years. For those people that are like, oh, this doesn't seem good, this seems too good to be true, it's not stable. The company's been around for over 75 years. There's been people making millions in life insurance since 1950. And through this experience, I have a couple pieces of advice for young people who want to get into sales, but maybe you're going through the same thing I went through where you got people telling you not to do it, it's too good to be true, stay in school, get a degree. So my 3 pieces of advice is this. First and foremost, you have to get a relationship with God. The most important thing I do every single day is I wake up, I read the Bible, I let the Holy Spirit cut me and speak to me through the Bible, and I try to implement it into my life. And then I say my prayers and I ask the Holy Spirit to speak to me and guide my path. That's the most important thing I ever did. Number 2 is you have to get around successful people. You can't hang around broke people and expect to become successful. They're gonna give you the wrong advice and they're gonna steer you in the wrong direction. The same way I had my own friends and family who are not financially successful giving me bad advice like to not pursue a sales career or to stay in school and not take a risk. And the third thing is you have to give up to go up. And if you expect change, if you want change, something has to change. The first 19 years of my life, I was super immature, disrespectful, bitter. I was a complainer. I never took accountability for anything. And I knew that I wanted change in my life. But if you want change, something has to change. And it's you have to change. A saying that I always tell my guys is, the boy has to die for the man to live, or you have to give death to your old self to be reborn and have a new life. So a lot of that is bad habits. Staying out too late. Nothing good happens late at night. It's gonna be trouble, drugs, alcohol. Nothing good happens after 9 p.m. So I never stay out past 9:30 or 10 p.m. Also, your attitude. You can't be bitter, you can't be a complainer, you can't be a gossiper. You have to take accountability, you have to be positive, and you have to speak joy in life in other people. And then the last piece of advice I have is you have to get out of your hometown. One of the best things I ever did, even though it was uncomfortable, was I moved out of my hometown into a state and city that I did not know anybody, and it forced me to meet new people. It gave me the opportunity to live a new life because I didn't have everybody around me, so I can make myself reborn. And then also, it forces you to work hard because it cuts out distractions very easily. When you move to a new city and you don't know anybody, you got nothing else to do but work. And you'll realize that when you work hard, that's how you become successful. But it's hard to work hard when you have a ton of distractions around you, like friends, family members, people that you're used to seeing. So if you move out of your hometown, it's gonna force you to work hard. And through that forced hard work, you're gonna realize that's how you become successful. Anyway, if you guys are looking for a sales opportunity, the same one that changed my life, it can change your life too. Now I'm in the position where I'm recruiting you. The same way my cousin recruited me, I'm now recruiting you. And I'm telling you, you can make more money than you currently make. You can work from home. We give you the leads and we give you the script to read. So if you're looking for an opportunity like that, click the link below in the caption or click the link in my Instagram bio. We run an interview every Monday at 8 p.m. I'll see you on the interview soon. God bless. Have a good one.